Hey everyone, it's Jackie again, and today we're going to be going over the splatter technique for our last lesson. So to start our lesson, we're going to start by drawing a simple bird. To draw our bird, you're going to start with a bit of an oval shape across the paper. You want to make it pretty large, and then I'm going to do a circle for the head. Now you're going to connect the two and bring it down a little bit more than it is, and come back up, following around the shape of the oval. When you're doing the circle and the oval, make sure to start very light so it's easier to erase the pencil marks after. Also, that side is where we'll have it, and then the head will go up here to make the neck. We're going to have our beak over here. So you can see the general shape of the bird so far. Now we're going to work on the tail part. It's going to follow a shape like this, but I'm going to add some details to mine, so I'm going to go like this. Just like that. And then that's where it connects to the body, and I'm going to do a wing over here. It's gonna follow a shape like this, almost like you're making a rectangle, and then with a triangle on the top to connect it. Now we're going to add the details, so I'm going to finish up the shape, the wing, and I'm going to do details similar to down here. I'm going to go with lines like this. And that's how I'm going to do my wing. I'm going to put lightly like this. You don't have to do this part, but I'm just doing it so I remind myself for later. And then a second wing. It's basically another triangular shape up here. But I'm going to do the same details for the feathers. And that's the base for the bird. Now I'm going to add the eye. We'll go right here. Make sure my beak is clear. And now I'm going to erase all of the lines inside. Awesome, so now that we have our bird all drawn, I'm going to just make sure all the eraser dust is gone, so that way we can start painting. So to start painting, I'm going to start with a background for mine. I'm going to make my background a light blue color like the sky, and you're just going to do what we've been doing when we start a painting. You're going to use a lot of water to make sure it'll flow nicely and it'll cover the whole background, and you're going to make sure the color isn't too dark so it's easier to move. But if you want a darker sky, then you can add less water and use more paint. So I'm getting my blue color ready. Okay, now to paint the background. Now I'm going to try my best to make sure I don't get any paint on the bird, because it will be a little bit difficult to paint it, especially if you want to make it a lighter color like yellow or orange, if there is blue already on the paint. Okay, now that I have my background all done, you can totally fill up the entire paper. I'm just showing you the basics, so to save a little bit of time for myself, I'm going to just do a bit of a square shape, well, almost square shape around the bird. So next I'm cleaning off my brush to make sure there's no more blue left on it. And now I'm going to paint my bird. I've decided I'm going to make the color of my bird yellow, and I'll do my shadows or maybe more texture to the bird with a green color. I'm going to go through and fill in the whole bird. Okay, awesome. So I'm cleaning off my brush again. And as I wait for my yellow paint to dry, I'm going to add orange and quickly just paint the beak. This film little triangle. There you go. Cleaning off my brush. Picking up some of the pool. And sweet. So now I'm just gonna wait and make sure my bird dries. Okay, so now that the paint is dry, I'm gonna go in with green on some of the areas I want to make darker or that there would be a natural shadow, just because I think it would look cool. So for starters, I'm gonna do like the belly of the bird. I'm not gonna mix it out as much as I did our first project, the teddy bear. I'm just gonna let it go on the way it wants to, like that. And I'm gonna do the same over here. I'm gonna try to make it go underneath each of my lines, just to give it dimension. And the reason I'm using two colors instead of mixing a darker yellow is because this project is based on the splatter technique, and I want to be able to use multiple colors for the splatter because I think it looks awesome when there's multiple. There's just more to it. So next I'm going to do this wing back here, add a bit of a shadow, just like that behind the head, just to separate the two parts in case your line wasn't dark enough. And then also I'm gonna do one that goes underneath right here and back like this, kind of where I drew that one little line that earlier. Even if you didn't do it, you should be able to follow along with the step. And because it's kind of like this part is going to be on top of that part or in front of it, I'm just going to fill in this area a little bit. Let it slightly get lighter, and then underneath specific parts of the wing like before. Okay, so now that I'm almost done with my bird, I'm cleaning off my brush. I'm going to go in with a black or a dark color and just do the dot in the eye, fill it in. Perfect. And now for the fun part, the part we've been waiting for is this splatter. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to make sure you get a lot of paint on your brush and a lot of water. You want it to be really thick so you can go and splash it. So I'm getting my yellow first and making sure to get a lot on my brush. And so the design I'm going for, I want it to look like it's coming off of the wing. So when the bird is flying back here behind it, it's leaving the splatter behind it, like an action or like a movement type of thing. Creates that illusion. So I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna tap my brush. Oh, and I probably should have said this first, but before you start, you might want to put a paper towel down underneath it or something to make sure it doesn't go everywhere. I'm working on my wood, so it's okay if it splatters onto the wood, but just to make sure you're clean and safe, put some type of towel or paper underneath so it doesn't go everywhere. But yeah, basically I'm taking my paintbrush and I'm holding it horizontally above the paper and I'm just tapping it with my other hand. And that's all there is to it. If it looks like the dots are getting too small, just get more paint. This is honestly one of my favorite techniques just because it's so fun and I love the lack of control. It just goes everywhere. It may make a little bit of a mess, but overall I think it's worth it. Now I'm getting the green on my brush to add in the green splatters. It's okay if you get some on the bird. I think it, adds to the effect that it's coming from the bird. And yeah, so that's basically it. And if you got somewhere on the bird that you didn't want it, I like it how it is, but I'm just going to show you how you remove it. You do the same thing. You get a clean brush. Well, that's not a clean brush. Well, clean brush. And then you just wipe it away. So it had green splatters, but now it's just yellow again. And that's how you do the splatter technique. You guys can totally apply this to any projects you want, to add a cool background to something, or even put it on top of the picture you've drawn, just add a texture to it. I think it's super fun, and I really hope you guys had fun doing this. Bye!